Hi, and welcome back to the Price Action Analyst YouTube channel. This is an update on Vechain, VET. I had a lot of people asking about it. It's just a follow-up. Given that there was I exited here and said, given these wicks, if you want to exit, you can exit now. Obviously, it was a touch early. So I've had some people ask, is it going to push up from here? I guess, should we get in? So I'm just going to talk about that. And I just want to mention, too, for people that are watching this and kind of interested in the subscription service that I'm going to provide. I mentioned that in the previous video, but what I'm planning on doing is having a model portfolio. So, Vechain will probably be in that. And then you would have, I want to have a section called trade exits and trade entries. So if something looks like it's a good position to exit, and maybe I'll have like short-term exit as opposed to like long-term exit, then I'm going to mark that. But then it's your choice as to whether you want to do that. So these videos should help you get in your mind whether your psychology is such that you want to do that. You want to sort of take exits here or here and then try to get better entry points. This is, you can see it's more difficult than just holding. And people's psychology is such, as you can see from the comments, that they're worried that price is going to run away from them. So you need to be honest with yourself. Having said that, I'm hoping to provide a service where you have the information to try to do that if you want. It's up to you. And so you can do that with your model portfolio, or there will be like trade entries and exits on like trading recommendations, stuff that's not in the model portfolio necessarily, but I'll say, hey, like this is a good entry point for this crypto. So if you want to take advantage of it, you could. So I'm hoping to like provide all that stuff, basically a model portfolio with kind of minimal tuning, and then also I guess trade ideas for other things as well. So anyways, let's just get back to Vechain, because this is kind of the process. And so to answer the question as to whether or not this is going up, so long term, I expect this to go up. Is the really short answer. This though is a major barrier for me. So I've marked it with blue lines because, and this works no differently, but for stock trades, I'm shorting here. This is a short entry for me. So when price gets back up into this wick, that's a short entry. So I'm adamant in that. From where price is now, I'm not sure whether it's going to push up in here or retrace down, but what I am adamant is if it gets up here, I'll short that. So do you want to be buying there? From my experience, no. It's a high probability event that this is going to act as a buffer. Like I've shown everyone time in and time out with these videos, this is very reliable. So even though these didn't work immediately, there's still a validity because it washes that, leaves a big wick, and then it's come back to that price, right? So it rarely just pushes past these and just keeps going, as you see here. Having said that, you've got buying support, kind of, this wick is indicative of buying support that, went down to about here, which is roughly 50% of this. It's left a wick here. That wick is also an area of support, but it's likely to be retested. So, what you can start to do, it's early yet. You need like, 1, 2, 3 of these to mark a trend line, but you can start anticipating how price is going to retrace. So again, if price pushes up here and the bar closes here, then you got to adjust this line. But what you're trying to do is preempt roughly what you think is going to happen. So, again, price is likely to come down here and test the support area. So on that, whether it's going to push up here or push down here, it's kind of hard to say. This morning that was a full blue candle which looked very strong, and now it's, you know, it's likely to close with that wick there, which again is indicative of downside weakness. So if we go into the hourly bars, you know, this one here short term was right, push up, retracement, and strength up. This one here, you know, strength up, but the retracement is different. It's, you know, weakness. You know, you didn't see this type of weakness in here. Strength, more weakness, lower low. So, you know, this looks different. Even though this is pushed out on the upside, and we'll get to that in a sec, you know, this is a different to this. And so, you know, immediately as price pushed up in there, you know, short term, there's your short. So this wick, you're hitting shorts inside that wick. So that would have had you short. And depending on what instrument you're trading, I mean, on futures, that's money. That's, you know, that's substantial amounts of money if you're willing to sit through that many hours. But, you know, these bars could be any time frame in terms of the price action. So let me just take this line. So if we make these two lines parallel, price, you know, again, it's hard to say. Price could, this is going to act as support here, this air, and you're seeing that a little bit here. It could push up into here, but again, in this situation, I'm not buying that because this is in my selling area. So, you know, if we do get a break, I expect it to fail. What I think is probable if price peels over is for, so here you've got the bottom of this wick, which was roughly 50%. You've got this trend line. So price is going to see buying support around this previous low, which is a 50% line, and maybe, you know, if it's deeper than that, maybe even this trend line. If price peels over down to here or anywhere here, leaves a wick and has like buying support, that will be our entry. That's an ideal entry. And, you know, unfortunately it got out a touch early, but that, I mean, that's roughly where I got out here. So, you know, that's ideally where I'm looking for a re-entry of Vechain. So again, in terms of where this goes, again, I expect it to fail here. If it pushes up here, I expect it to fail. If it rolls over, I expect to see support down here, in which case I will let you know that that's made a buying entry. If it does push up into here, I can't buy that because I don't expect that. So worst case scenario, price comes into here, retraces shallowly and pushes out. I would wait for some sort of retest, ideally. Yeah, and you know what? If it pushes out, and this is again low probability, and just keeps pushing out, there's a chance I might just leave it. Like, you might never get a re-enter. You know, you might just have to take the risk yourself. But again, that's extremely low probability that, as you've seen, that price just pushes through there and never comes back. So overall, on Vechain, wait, there's a good chance this now cycles down. So I think it'll be all right. I mean, now, you know, it's odd because we're now advocating that the price come down, but long term, I'm still very bullish this coin. I see Chainlink, which is similar, is doing good things as well. Sorry, before we go look at Chainlink, let's just look at, I mean, here's the other thing too. If price pushes up here, That's a major area of resistance. So, you know, if price is not going to push far beyond this high and see, you know, another big point of weakness. That doesn't mean we don't want to be in it. If it scrolls down here, we do. We want to ride that out. You know, if it comes back down to here, hypothetically, we want to ride that out, and then that takes us up to there, and then maybe that's another exit point. But I could be wrong, but I do feel that this retrace has more to play out. You know, it generally doesn't just spike out of there like that, but we'll see. It can certainly do that. Oh, see, and this is the thing that you'll find too, is everyone's talking about, I've seen tweets about Link being at an all-time high. Yeah, but you know, look at that. And it's always like no one's talking about it down here, right? And where everyone's talking about it, everyone starts buying. And I don't know why this is, but that's where you get your weakness, right? You know, and that is, if you had our target, you know, if you just had an exit at our target, it got there. It didn't take very long. 2 weeks. So, you know, this is reliable stuff, I think. You know, this is what I've taught, and this is how I've traded, and you see it over and over again. I mean, that's not exact, but you know, if I said, hey, it's going from there to there, that's not a bad guess. So, you know, that's on this strength, that's very likely to push up again into this wick. But expect this wick to hold, even if it pushes past temporarily. Expect that wick to hold now, and look for a retrace. I'm not going to recommend that you exit Chainlink here, because then it's I think, you know, the other thing I learned from Vechain is you know, just you don't need to give that. I won't necessarily give the exit signal on the first one. I'll wait for the second push, because that second push is likely to, with the size of that wick, you're probably going to see with the strength up, you're going to see a push into that wick, but what you're probably going to see is a series of wicks there, like 2 or 3 before price retraces. So, you know, on the second or third wick, I could say, you know, exit at 89, something like that. So I think next time I'm just going to be a little bit more patient about it. But there's definitely interest in this. I mean, that exercise I did on the weekend, which I haven't finished, looking at all the cryptos that are listed on Coinigi, there's a lot more that are trending up since the last time I did that exercise. So, you know, there's a lot of money printing going on, and I guess some of that is, well, a lot of that looks like it's going in the crypto market, and hopefully that's people that are getting wise to what's going on and what that means for the dollar. Because if that is the case, I think that's what we want to happen with crypto long term, is that people are moving out of the funny money and into something that's going to hold its value a bit better, and something that can't be, you know, it's finite in its supply. So let me just have a look and see what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, it's still threatening to, you know, the longer it traces that trend line, the more likely there is for up. There was just one other thing I wanted to show everybody. Sorry, just getting back to Vechain and the wicks. This is one of my put positions. This is SQ square. So this is a wick that pushed outside of the Bollinger Band, and I got short this day. So price must have been up here, and those are exercise prices of my put debit spread. So this is my point, you know. Price does this, and people are like, oh my god, like it's pushed higher. Like the exact wording of the comments on the YouTube thing are, it's pushed higher. It looks like it's continuing on. What do I do? Well, most people think that, and they get squashed. You know, this is the high probability event. When I see those wicks, this is what I'm expecting. And so, you know, this opened this morning and was pushing up. It looked kind of bad. I was going to exit it if it kept pushing up. But over the course of the day, the market did sell off pretty heavily. So it wasn't just this. So, I mean, there was an element of luck in it. But this is the high probability event, not for price to keep pushing up. So when I see the wicks, this is what I see. And yeah, like price will push past it, and like on Vechain it left wicks, or this one it rolls over. But even though it pushed past it, this kind of selling area remains valid. So just wait on Vechain. And the other thing I wanted to say is this is also why I don't buy highs. There's a lot of people, like you can subscribe to people trading options, and I'm not saying at all that their approach is not valid. You know, I trust that they're making money, but from my experience trading futures, but it applies to all markets. Like I won't buy that. I won't buy that high. You know, I think this was an all-time high. Yeah. So, you know, it's now outside of the Bollinger Band, and it's breaking. You know, this was the previous high, and it's pushing back at it. It's a breakout to a new high. I won't buy that, because this is where you get stuffed. And, you know, when you have the share, it's okay. You know, you can wait this out. When you have a futures account, you know, that level, you know, if it has a big run down like that on a futures thing, that might be your entire futures account gone, right? A lot of the time it'll push back, but every now and again it just keeps going, and it's you know, within a day your account's gone. It's not like an options position where I've got, you know, say $150 out of $3,000 on the line. Like when you trade a futures account, your whole account's at risk. So if I, you know, I go long here and I wait this out, now I'm stuck a huge amount. Do I hit the exit button and take, you know, like a $1,500 loss, which is half the account? Do I hope it cycles back? And if I hope it cycles back and it doesn't, that's it, you're done. So, you know, I'm in the habit, I don't take those. I don't take those. And you could say, well, futures are different. No, every liquid market acts the same, generally. And so, again, it's not a guarantee, but to me, this is a high probability event. When I give you the trade exit with wicks, this is what I expect. So anyways, I'll wrap that up here. Just wait on Vechain. If it pushes past and starts making new highs, well, then I'll just look for another entry higher up. But I suspect that there's further retracement to be had, so just be patient. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter, and if you want to support the channel, I would really appreciate it. There's cryptocurrency public addresses in the description. Thanks for watching.